Hi, everyone. I want to talk to you briefly about what I think you do and don't need to invest in as a beginning entrepreneur, especially a solo entrepreneur. There's a lot of pressure, or at least I put a lot of pressure on myself when I started out to think that I needed a perfect website, I needed a logo, I needed a tagline, I needed a fun or cute branded company name. And I don't think you need all of these things. So, without getting into too many specifics, I will most likely clear six figures this year. And I don't have a lot of these things. My dog is um, a little bit unsettled here. So, you may see him um, readjust himself. I think the really important things that you need a website where you can advertise yourself, describe who you are and what you do, and that does not need to be fancy. I don't have great skills in putting together a website, so I have a Squarespace website which gives you templates and is super easy to put together. That costs me about $120, $130 a year. You can find free hosting services. There's something called Weebly, Weebly, that a lot of my students use when they put together websites and want to spend nothing. And I know there are all kinds of other services. The more skills you have, the more likely you will be able to find something that can host your website for free, but you're probably going to have to pay at least $20 to $30 a year to own the name of your website, your unique URL, and have it hosted. The other thing I really think you need to buy is professional headshots. Unless you have a friend who really knows photography, you need some high quality headshots that look really good online and are good enough that when a professional organization wants to promote you, wants to invite you to speak, and they email you and ask, can we have a headshot to go along with the promotion, that you can just send those along. So I spent about $300 on mine. I know people who got a deal with photographers just starting their career that were about $75. If you have a friend, you might get a really good deal, but it's not unusual at all to spend several $100s on good photographs because photographers have equipment. You're paying for their time of the photo shoot, the time to edit the pictures, and some of the investment in really expensive technology that photographers need. Beyond the website and the photographs, I don't think there was much that I invested in initially. Now, that said, I am a writer, so I don't need much equipment. I need a working computer, and I just kept going with the computer I already had. I upgraded my computer a year or so into my business when I had some work going for me. In some fields, you will need to buy equipment, but I don't think to get started that you need a fancy name for your company. You don't need a professional logo. You don't need business cards. You don't need fancy office space. You don't need somebody to design a professional website for you. I think these are a lot of things that it's easy to distract yourself with and think, I can't start my business because I don't have all of these things. Hi, buddy. Um, he's blind, if you couldn't tell by the way he just let me hit him in the face there. Uh, so it's, yeah, it's real easy to get caught up in those things. It's money that you don't need to spend, and it's time that you will waste on getting those things lined up. It will also delay you in putting the work into finding clients and doing work for those clients. So I would rather see you just get to work and start pursuing getting your first big clients and getting your first big paychecks from those clients. Just get your website and get your um, headshots and get to work. That said, there are some exceptions to those rules, right? If you are in a field like design, graphic design, website design, you may want to talk to somebody about fine tuning things. There may be some industries where you do need some fancy office space to impress people. But by and large, most of us, when we start working, we don't need a lot of this fancy stuff that we think we need before we get started. Just start making the connections, let people know what you have to offer, and get yourself out there. Okay, I'm happy to answer any questions. I may be um, forgetting things that I spent money on, or forgetting to mention things that I did chose not to spend money on that I initially thought I needed to. If you have questions, please feel free to comment and ask. I'm happy to help anybody who's going through the early stages of this journey. Thanks, guys.